Hi there, my name is Natasha Hodge and I am a nutritional advisor. Welcome to my website. You're going to find resources and recipes and all sorts of links to hopefully things that are going to help you maintain a better body, get yourself healthy and focus your attention on the right foods for the right actions in your body to help you be healthy forever and to get a bigger slice of life. My background, let's talk about my story. So when I was a child, I had very severe eczema. I also ate really badly, and my poor mother could not have done more for trying to get me to eat healthy foods. But unfortunately, I was very, very, very fussy. I mean, we're talking I could smell a food and my stomach would turn and I'd get sick on the spot. So it wasn't for want of trying, it was really, it became a fear. It became a fear because I just did not cope well with new food or anything like that. Fast forward to when I was in my late teens, my eczema got incredibly bad. I was quite overweight, and by the way, I was overweight from about 6 onwards, and that was obviously the things I was eating. And so when I got to 18, I was covered in eczema. And I really had enough, because obviously at that age you're becoming much more aware of how you look with peer pressure and all that sort of stuff. I'd had peer pressure for a lot of my school life, you know, and I tried all the diets and starving myself and all those sorts of silly things. And it was at 18, it became very much an issue, so I decided at my parents' instigation to go to a homeopath, and the homeopath basically took out all the inflammatory things that I was eating and advised me to eat well. And because I was so determined to get rid of this awful eczema, I did as he said, and about 6 months later, 3 stone lighter and very clear skin, I just thought, I've cracked it. I've totally cracked it. So in a parallel universe, I basically went on to do nutrition and my health was perfect from that day to this. But in the real universe, of course, I went off to university and totally forgot everything I'd learnt. 100%. I forgot everything. So I ate exactly what I wanted, and back came the weight and back came the eczema. So here I am now at 21, starting work in a costume house, very overweight, and off I trotted to a slimming club, because I was determined to be healthy while I was at work. So I did the low fat, whole grain, you know, devoid of flavour, eating 7 Muller lights a day thing, and lo and behold, I lost the 3 stone. I did that fairly fast, but it didn't change my eating habits, and on I carried. Slowly, all the foods I loved came back again, and on piled the weight. Then I got pregnant. I had my gorgeous twins, and I was very, very ill when I actually had them. They were 7 pounds each, so I was huge. They were huge, and so I thought I ate very well during my pregnancy, but looking back, I absolutely didn't, and I put far too much weight on and probably put my health at risk. And luckily my children were born very healthy, but that definitely impacted them, and they went on to be bottle fed because I was so poorly afterwards, and that's a regret, because as a nutritional advisor these days, I would say that the stuff that they were fed early on was not good. Anyway, so now I am again, maybe now 4 stone overweight after I've had them, and it might have been more than that. I was about 16 stone when after I had them. So back I went to the slimming club. Well, you can guess which slimming club I went back to, the one that everybody talks about still these days. And off the weight came again, and again it was deprivation and no flavour and lots of Muller lights. And my eczema wasn't great during this period, because unbeknownst to me, I was still eating stuff that wasn't really that good for me. So again, I never really questioned the fact that I had to keep going back. Why was it that I learnt how to eat and then it didn't stay off? Of course, looking back now, it was that I hadn't really learnt. I hadn't changed anything. I just deprived myself of things that I'd grown up eating and carried on eating, and just for that short amount of time to get rid of the weight, then I got I lost the weight because of the deprivation. So then moving on, the weight came back while I was stressed and owning a shop, and my work-life balance was terrible. So I got rid of the shop in 2010, and then I stumbled across working with a health company, and that's where my life took a completely different track. In fact, it really brought me, I suppose, full circle back round to that nutritional journey I did with the homeopath, and it became clear that whatever I was putting in to my stomach was having an effect on A, my weight, and B, my eczema, not to mention my mental health and energy levels too. So I started to look into it, started to research it, I started telling people about it. The health company I was working for, I was using that as a platform to talk about the other stuff, which was sugar mainly, and it became clear to people that that was where my true passion was, and they advised me to follow it and actually get a qualification in it. So the diploma that I did, and unfortunately a lot of the education qualifications that you can get here and globally are based very much in misinformation. So it was great to get a background in biology and understanding the vitamins and minerals that we needed, but they still talked about low fat, and they still talked about not eating saturated fat, and that clashed greatly with stuff I was now starting to read, which showed that actually it was all down to sugar and how it affects our bodies, our gene expression. Also, I would say when I started with very different views to the views I have today. So 9 years on, and obviously all the experimentation, all the things I've done with my family, all the things I've done with my clients has changed greatly as I've learned more and more. And the experiences, you literally cannot underestimate how long it takes to put a coherent picture together in your mind so that you're able to give excellent advice. And my advice has changed very, very drastically, a lot, over the 9 years, and that's hardly surprising because you learn different things at different times. You have to go back to stuff that you may have learnt early on to understand it better in a context that you are now seeing it in. You know, things become clear when you're using them for your own benefit, when you see different outcomes in different people. You know, weight loss is changed by various different stages in our lives, and of course as I've grown older, that's impacted how the food works. So it's really very, very important to understand when you're working in the field that I work, that you are allowed to change your views. You are allowed to hold your hands up and say, I got it wrong, I did not realize that that wouldn't work. And then looking back at why it didn't work, or why certain foods have an impact on us. You know, it's all layer upon layer. And today I very much feel like I've come to, I suppose, a very, very simplistic view of the way we eat, the way we were designed to eat, and the traditional ways of cooking and preparing food are what we need to go back to. And it takes time to get to that place, and I'm very, very pleased to say that I will never stop learning. I will always look for the science, and I will always try to include it in the advice that I'm going to give you. So take a look around, enjoy the recipes, enjoy the videos, have some fun along the way, and that's what it's all about. Enjoying your body, having fun, and literally living every day to the fullest that you possibly can. Treat yourself to a bigger slice of life.